Alrighty guys, so in this video, I'm gonna be going over how I would make 15K as a fractional cold caller in the next 60 days if I had to start completely from scratch. No clients, no brand, no network. Here's exactly how I'd build a $15,000 per month business doing nothing but cold calling in 60 days or less. On the surface, it feels unrealistic because most sales reps and SDRs are stuck in W-2 roles that barely cover 5 to 6K a month, but here's the thing. The fractional SDR model flips the script. Like one of my clients, Elijah Woke, he did 90K in just 90 days using this exact same framework. And I've had tons of additional clients cross $15,000 to $30,000 a month inside 60 days. And the crazy part, they use the exact same SDR skills that you guys have right now. Nothing new, nothing fancy. And in this video, I'm gonna be breaking down the exact 8 steps of how I run cold calling as a fractional SDR, packaging outbound calls as a service to consistently book qualified meetings and create predictable monthly income for myself, and how you can copy the exact same steps to hit $15,000 to $30,000 a month as an SDR. So step number 1 is really to make the decision. Okay, you have to commit to the path. And this is the step that trips up 90% of people before they even start. So if you don't commit to the path and shut down every other tab in your brain, we're not doing e-com, we're not selling a course, we're not closing for someone else, we're not doing AI agents for local businesses and chiropractors. You're choosing the path of a fractional SDR, okay? A modern day rainmaker who gets paid to create pipeline. And until that decision is locked in, you're just gonna keep spinning your wheels. Step number 2 is really to pick a niche. So choose a market that you can speak to, and this is where you're gonna win or lose the game. Okay, so you need to pick a space that you understand, and where you understand how the end persona thinks, right? And so you can use this filter. Who do you already understand? What industry, what offer, what buying process, what persona? And so when you start doing outreach to find clients, you want your clients to feel that you understand their ICP, ideal customer profiles, problems. For example, right? Let's say you understand manufacturing. Well, you can start calling into companies that sell to manufacturers, right? Let's say you worked in logistics. Well, start calling 3PLs or brokers or software or service companies selling something to that industry. If you did real estate, you can go after prop tech or investment platforms. If you've done, anything in any industry that you understand that persona, right? You can look at companies that are selling into that persona. So high ticket B2B service and SaaS is generally where you're going to find companies with annual contract values that are high enough to justify what we want to charge. Okay. Step number 3 is to build your list, and your target list of clients is literally your ammunition. Okay. So once you pick the niche you're going to go into, the next move is to start building a list of accounts and contacts. And this is where you start stacking leverage. You can use tools like Apollo, you could use clay.com, or you could use SalesNav to find 100 to 200 accounts, pull the mobile numbers for each of the primary contacts at the accounts. We're looking for folks who would be able to make a decision, and this is going to be your lifeline. Okay. And you want to prioritize, again, people that can make the decision and people who care about pipeline. So this is going to be the VP of sales, founder, CEO, and you can keep it organized in a Google Sheet, CRM, whatever, right? But keep it tight. And once you have a solid list of mobile numbers, this is quite literally an asset that you can use and to dial on every single day. Think about it like an oil field, right? Every single day you're gonna go drill, 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 and eventually you're gonna strike oil. And if you're an SDR who actually wants to make $15,000 a month as a fractional SDR in the next 6 months, then click the Super SDR training video below and we can start putting these same frameworks to work in your life, okay? Step number 4 is to start dialing. So remember, conversations are what pay the bills, period. You don't need a fancy script, you need volume, and you need to have 5 conversations minimum per day. This is literally the thing that has to happen for you to be able to generate business in this business, right? And so you can use a tool like Trellis, you can dial manually, you could use your iPhone if you had to, right? But aim for 5 completed conversations per day to start. This means we got through the pitch. And don't judge your pitch just in the first calls and the first 10 calls. You're gonna learn fast by doing, but you need to track who picks up, you need to track who's interested, you need to track who's not. But don't let the fear of perfectionism slow you down. Just start calling, okay? Step number 5 is really to sound professional. I know I just said, don't let the fear of perfectionism slow you down, but you do need to sound professional when you're on the phone, okay? Remember, when you cold call someone to pitch yourself as a fractional SDR, you're literally doing the job to get the job. This is your audition. And so you need to come in calm, confident, respectful, right? Don't be robotic. Don't be overly scripted. Just be natural, be intentional, right? Your voice, the tone, pacing, it all matters. Focus on being seen as competent and trustworthy in the first 30 seconds. And remember, you are your own brand and you're selling yourself. So every call builds or breaks trust with your prospects. Step number 6 is to qualify the client. So now that we've booked a meeting with someone, we've got them on the phone, right? We've got them on a meeting with us. You need to remember that you're not applying for a job, right? You're offering pipeline, you're the revenue generator, and that makes you the prize. You need to ask smart discovery questions when you get the meeting, but remember, you aren't there to sell them. You're there to uncover the truth, right? Do they have a problem that you can solve? Do they actually have the capacity and the desire to try to solve that problem? And something to remember is that you can actually try to talk your prospects out of doing business with you, right? And if you can, then they're probably not going to do business with you anyway, right? So if they're doing inbound, why not do more of that, right? If they're doing referrals, why not just do more of that? If they have in-house SDRs, why wouldn't they just hire more of them? And if they can't be talked out of doing business with you, the only logical choice left is to do business with you. And this might seem counterintuitive, but trust me, it works. And they're going to be able to get into some smart math of sales discovery questions, like what's a client worth to you? What's a meeting worth to you? How are you generating pipeline right now? Right. And you're going to be able to reverse engineer the sales funnel. And if your clients are clueless, they're broke, or they can't close, or they want you to work on a rev share basis only or commission only basis, just walk away, right? Only work with clients who value pipeline. And remember, we want winnable campaigns with clear math behind. Step number 7 is to position and close. So you need to sell the outcome, not the activity. You're not charging for dials or effort, you're charging for outcomes. So present yourself like an on-demand revenue team. Offer clear terms in terms of what you're gonna do for them, and tie what you're going to do for them and the results you're going to generate back to the revenue potential that it's going to be worth to them, and price based on value, but make it easy to say yes, right? And then just assume the close, right? When can we get started? How fast can I start booking meetings for you? And then once they've committed, right, we need to over deliver. And we need to prove that we're the real deal. So track every conversation, track every meeting, share the numbers with your client on a daily basis. And remember, your client gets a hit of dopamine every time that you get a win. So over communicate early, be proactive, ask for testimonials, ask for referrals, or ask them if you can double down and do more for them. Ask for a second campaign, right? Once you've delivered. And this is how you go from 1 client to 3 clients, how you go from $5K a month to $30K a month as a fractional SDR, without ads, without content, without luck, just proof and execution. So the truth is, you guys, you really don't need some personal brand, a fancy funnel, some AI gimmick, a digital product, all of these things to make real money right now, right? You just need a phone, you need a list, and you need the balls to commit. This is quite literally the meta skill that you have to master to be good at any other business. And that's exactly what guys like Patrick Wong, Daniel Gerner, and Elijah Woke did. And they're earning $15,000 to $30,000 a month, not by doing anything new, but by doing what actually works, right? Cold calling for companies that need pipeline. And the same 8-step system that you just learned can be copied, it can be executed on, and you'll be able to build your own predictable income as a fractional SDR. So if you're serious, I want to remove the guesswork. I put together a list of the top 50 highest paying niches for fractional SDRs. These are the exact verticals where companies have money, will close quickly, and actually value the work. So all you have to do is pick one, start dialing, and that's really the only decision left, right? So download the list below. And if you want help landing your first client and building a $15,000 to $30,000 per month calling business like my top students, you're gonna see the link for that too. The truth is, you guys, again, this is the simplest, it's fastest path to real cash I've ever seen. All you have to do now is make the call. I'll see you in the next video.